With this lesson, I'd like to move on from discussing harmony and chord progressions for the time being. Thank God, right? And focus on a new topic, the equally important musical element of rhythm. Having taught countless private students over the years, I've found that among many unschooled and do-it-yourself homeschool guitarists, rhythm is an area commonly lacking in understanding and training. And this represents potential developmental weakness that can seriously hinder one's ability not only to solo in time, but on a more basic level, communicate and function effectively in a band situation, or even read a transcription without having to rely on listening to the recording to figure out the phrasing. In any case, it is very beneficial to be able to conceptualize and internalize rhythmic structures and patterns in your head or your mind's ear, and to be able to do so while playing your instrument and tapping your foot in an even, steady pattern. It doesn't matter which foot, with the foot taps occurring either on every beat, every other beat, like 1 and 3, or every third beat, depending on the song's tempo and groove. Now, the first step in acquiring these musical skills is to learn how to verbally count rhythms. And a great way to do that is to learn how to read them on paper or a computer screen, which is what I'm here to teach. For the sake of leaving no one behind, let's start by covering the basic principles of rhythm and rhythmic notation. Some of you may already be familiar with this foundational material, which, by the way, is all based on elementary school arithmetic and fractions. So please bear with me and consider it a worthwhile review. Most popular music is conceived in what's called 4/4 meter, also known as 4/4 time. It's indicated in sheet music and Guitar World's rhythmic tab notation by the visual symbol or time signature 4/4, appearing at the beginning of a piece of music. The top number of the time signature, or the numerator of the fraction, if you will, tells you how many beats there are in each measure or bar of music. In this case, 4, right? 4/4. So you would basically count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, with a slight emphasis or accent on 1, what's known as the downbeat of the measure. The bottom number, or the denominator of the fraction, or time signature, indicates what kind of rhythmic value is serving as a foundational beat around which everything else is calibrated. The number 4 in this case, right, 4/4, signifies a quarter note receives 1 beat. And so in 4/4 meter, we have 4 quarter note beats in each bar of music. I'll demonstrate here with a D chord. I'll use D and G. The chords don't matter. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I was tapping my foot on every beat, an excellent habit to get into. Something guitar players don't do enough of. You know, they teach you in grade school band when you're playing the French horn or the flute or trumpet. You see them all little kids doing a little concert, and they're all tapping their foot like good little soldiers. Guitar players, they just sit there and just shred and kind of open their mouth and drool on their guitar while they play. So we guitar players should acquire that discipline to be able to tap our feet when we play. A quarter note is indicated in rhythmic tab by a straight vertical line appearing directly below a tab number, or a stack of tab numbers if it's a chord. As you know from learning how fractions work, 4/4 equals 2/2 equals 1/1, or 1 whole, right? Basic math. In 4/4 meter, these values all equal 1 complete bar of music, rhythmically. You can have 4 quarter notes, each held for 1 beat, 2 half notes, each held for 2 beats, played on beats 1 and 3, or 1 whole note, played on beat 1 and held for the duration of the bar. For example, I'm going to use chords E, B, and A. The chords really don't matter. I'm just filling in the blank with a chord here. Here's 4 quarter notes, followed by 2 half notes. And then I'm going to repeat that, and I'll play a whole note. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes, half notes, half note, and then a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. In rhythmic tab, a tab number or vertical stack of tab numbers, if it's a chord, right, enclosed in a circle or an oval with a vertical stem below it indicates a half note rhythm. So you have the stem like you would for a quarter note, and then the oval or the circle around it. And a circle number or stack of numbers with no stem, just a circle, if it's one tab number. And if it's a bunch of vertical tab numbers like a chord, just an oval around it, that signifies a whole note rhythm, where you would play on beat 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold it for the duration of the bar. So that's going to help you probably with reading Guitar World transcriptions, right? Getting back to fractions. 2/4 equals 1/2, right? Thus, 2 quarter notes equal 1/2 note. Likewise, 2 half notes equal 1 whole note. 2 halves equals 1/1, or simply 1. It's all elementary. To make a food analogy, my favorite kind, picture a loaf of bread fresh in the oven. Unsliced, it represents 1 bar of music in 4/4 time and the duration of a whole note. If you slice the loaf in half, kind of like cell division, right? That represents 2 half notes. Slice each half evenly in half, then you have 4 quarters, or quarter notes. And you could do the same thing with a pizza pie, right? You got your pizza pie fresh out of the oven, slice it in half, slice those in half, then you get your 4 quarters, right? Or quarter notes. Slicing each of those quarters in half, you have 8 slices of pizza for you and your friends. You could, of course, continue to slice the loaf or pizza pie many different ways and into slices of varying thickness and divide a measure of music into many smaller rhythmic values of varying duration. That is something we will explore during the next several lessons. Finally, for today's lesson, within a bar of 4/4, you can have several possible combinations of quarter notes and or half notes, which all must add up to 4 beats, as you cannot have a shortage or surplus of rhythmic values within a measure. That is the law of rhythm. They must always add up to 1, or 1 whole note, assuming you're in 4/4 meter. Other possible permutations, as it were, are a half note followed by 2 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, half note, quarter, quarter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can have 2 quarter notes followed by a half note. 1 quarter plus 1 quarter plus 1/2 equals 1. And that would be like this. You always want to count off a measure too. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then the other possible combination here is quarter plus half plus quarter. Right? If you add those fractions, 1 quarter plus 1/2 plus 1 quarter equals 1, or 1 whole measure. So you can do this. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hit the half note on beat 2 and held it over beats 2 and 3.